Right. Sawadee ka. So I am Pat Premick, currently in Thailand for about 2.5 months now. And wow, that doesn't seem long, and yet it seems long, right? Um, so last Friday had a massive, massive, huge day. And that was, I had been able to open a bank account. And so that was just a God move. And so that morning, I finally got the contract in hand for my house that I will be moving into. I went to a life group meeting of a bilingual church that I think is going to be it. And so this life group meeting is very close to where I live. I drove out to the area where the bank is because I was waiting for my second chunk of change to arrive at the bank account because I have to have 800,000 baht, which right now is 25,000 US dollars, sit in a bank account and do nothing. And so I was literally waiting for that money to get into the bank account, and it did. And so I opened a bank account on something less than a visa. Like, I'm not even on a visa at this point. I'm literally on an entry stamp. And so the bank's like, uh, well, why do you want a bank account? So I tell them, like, I'm really trying to give you 800,000 baht. I have all these documents. And so she opens it, but she says, we're really not supposed to do this because remember, one of the reasons that I came here was to be able to have relationship with the people from the big country. Well, open borders meant there were no requirements. So good people came here from the big country, bad people came here from the big country and started scamming people. In my city in particular, we have a lot of people from the big country, and there have been a lot of scams. And so the restriction from a banking standpoint for people on the tourist visa, and I'm lower than a tourist visa right now, it has shut down hard because of that situation, right? I've heard it from immigration, I've heard it from the banks. They're like, we've got to stop the scamming. And so I opened a bank account, right? And so I go back to the bank last Friday with all of my money in the bank account, and I wave to the bank manager, and she comes over to me and she says, after you left last week, the bank officials came, and we are not allowed to open these bank accounts. You are the last person to get a bank account. Ah, there you go. I'm not even on a visa. I'm like lower than a visa. It's an entry stamp. But God, right? And so I went from the bank because they had to get certain bank documents, and then I dumped more money out and went to a visa agency. So I am now in process for my next visa, which is a 90-day non-O immigrant visa. And at the end of that, then I apply for the 1 year extension, which is the retirement extension, which is going to be my platform here. And so it's just been, like Louise talked about, all of these documents that you have to have. And I had all of them when I walked in the bank. And, I don't look like a scammer. And so she's like, I'm going to give you a bank account. I'm like, thank you. So only God can do that. So, so that was just a massive day last Friday. So now I've been able to contact the movers because my apartment or my house contract starts June 1st. So I'm trying to get my stuff shipped here from Taiwan. Sadly, it had been an estimate of $5,000. Now it's $7,000 because it's been sitting in storage now for so long. And so again, more details. They said, hey, we need your passport when it hits the port. I'm like, you can't have my physical passport because I'm getting the visa in it. So they're like, well, you have to go to a lawyer then and get it notarized. And so it's just like I'm bleeding cash at this point. But so hopefully by mid-June, I will actually be in my own place with my own stuff. I've been living out of two suitcases since January. Um, so making progress on there. None of it's settled, but I have been making good progress. So that's huge, huge praise, huge relief to get those really big things off of my plate. And honestly, I kept hearing about things change here very quickly. And I was in Taiwan. Taiwan is very orderly, they're very methodical, they don't change quickly. Here, something can change from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so I literally was going to three different visa agencies and I was getting three different answers. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this on my own. And, pretty severe consequences if I mess this thing up. And so I just had to plunk down some money and to a visa agency and like, please handle this for me. So they are working with me on that. Um, my language studies have been going really well. I had a leader from an organization tell me, well, I hear Thai's really hard and you're how old, so you really shouldn't learn that. You should just go do Chinese diaspora ministry. And I'm like, did you miss the part where I said I was going to pray and discern what ministry was? And so I think because I've been studying, right? My brain is flexible. I mean, this teacher is just really surprised. I went through, I don't know how many consonants today, just learned some vowels, and she's just writing it on a board and I'm picking it out and saying it right. And she's like, wow. So she's very encouraging and I'm very encouraged, and I get to go practice on the street to my, fruit and veggie people and order the right coffee, whether it's iced or not. So, I mean, just really simple things, but I'm making progress. So again, progress is a good thing. Um, Sadly, I'm here with my teammates. They're going back to the States, so I really miss them. So they'll be gone for about 2 months. About the time I'm moving in, they'll be out of town for a couple of months. But so I have my next trip is with the EPC in July. And so I think from a timing standpoint, I don't think I can actually make my application for my next visa until after I get back. Again, this is part of all of well, you've got this deadline and this deadline, but you have to be in the country while that's being processed, but I can't be in the country. I mean, it's just so, so confusing. Like my brain was just exploding on some of these things. Um, so looking forward to being with EPC people in Cyprus in July. Um, yeah, so progress. Still really discerning ministry, again, trying to find a bilingual church. And one of the things that some of them are bilingual, but you're doing it by headset. So you're really only hearing English. This is live translation. So they speak one language and do the translation live to that. So that's really helping me because I'm picking up words that I know, and the worship songs have the Thai on it, and so I'm picking up some words and consonants and vowels that I know. So I think that's going to be really helpful. But again, still a lot of discernment on what's the ministry. So I am open to what God has in store for me.
Pretty awesome. Lots of changes, right? Oh my goodness.
Ah, talk about being tired. Yeah.
Well, you've got great energy. You're a really bright person and an inquisitive person. So naturally, mix that with God's gifting and passion and calling. Yeah, it's going to come
It
together.
really, it really was a cultural appropriate way that I approached the business manager.
Mm.
And so I am so thankful that I've been learning on how to do that and how to enter culturally appropriately. And, yeah, she couldn't turn me down.